So this video is going to guide you through state takedown. I'm going to show you 3 different methods from easiest to most difficult in that order. The first one I'm going to be showing you is how to camp the house, and this will give you between 5 and 8 minute times typically, and it's the easiest one. So in all different approaches, this is how you open. You hide behind these boxes and you want to take shots at this barn over here. Sometimes you can get as many as 4 kills just from here. There's sometimes ghillie snipers by the fences. Now keep in mind to note whether or not a juggernaut spawns. They usually do. You can tell by the sound of a drum. It'll usually happen right at the start of the encounter. You'll hear a boom noise, and that signals that a juggernaut spawns. The juggernaut spawns typically inside the house and generally walks down the stairs and then comes around the corner here like that. Now I got really aggressive with this guy and I just rushed him. I don't really recommend this approach. You usually end up dying doing that. I just kind of got lucky. In this approach, I generally use this weapon, the PP. I find it a little bit more effective because you're going to be doing a lot of close quarters house fighting, and you have a bigger clip and faster shots, and it's silenced as well, which actually helps a little bit. So you want to come around left and you want to pick off these guys. There's a variable number of guys that spawn here. Once you take them out, make sure you watch this side here on the left. Sometimes guys will be hiding in the corner. Make sure the door is clear. There's a ghillie there. It's a very frequent spot for a ghillie. Once you're done, come upstairs, check that little room with the sleeping bags. Sometimes there's an enemy there. First thing you want to do is look for a ghillie. We already killed him in this video. You want to look down this area first, because these ghillies will kill you if you don't pick them off first. Once you've done that, go over to the other windows and pick off the rocket launcher guy by the barn. He's almost always there. And then look for others. So we've got another guy hiding there. I think that's a merc, not a ghillie, but it might be a ghillie and he'll kill you. Now basically from here on out, you're just going to camp these windows. The guys will generally be rushing this back door here, so all you need to do is shoot them as they come. Be careful not to get shot by a ghillie. If you get shot like that, immediately duck and go to the other windows. Ducking is not enough. If you just duck in front of the windows, the ghillies can still kill you, so you have to make sure you move from window to window. Wait until your health cools back down, and then go back and try to find the ghillie that just shot you. When a ghillie shoots you, take a look at your mini-map real quick and look for the red dot. Usually one will appear as soon as the ghillie shoots you, which is a convenient way of getting a general idea. Now we just heard another drum, so it means the juggernaut's coming. When you camp the house like this on the second floor, the juggernauts always come just like this up the stairs. They'll either come through the back door or come around the corner like this guy just did. All you have to do is hide by the door frame like this and camp them. And wait until they slowly come up the stairs. As soon as they come into your line of sight, you pick them off. Now, you'll typically get 2 juggernauts, usually, around 20 kills. Not always, but usually. So once you get anywhere less than 25 kills, be prepared for juggernauts, because they will come, so be listening for that noise. There's the second one. Notice that it's 16 kills, and this time he's coming through the back door, but the approach is the same. You just wait, and you just shoot him a couple times with your sniper rifle. Now this guy is hiding behind the door frame. You can shoot through the door and kill him. Once there are less than 15 hostiles left in this approach, that's when it's time to start picking off the guys in the field here. You want to go from this window and just look around, and then move a little bit. Try to route them out to get them to shoot at you. That's a ghillie we just killed. There's hiding in the trees. It's very tough to see these guys because they hide behind the pine trees. Make sure you don't get killed by a ghillie here. It's really important. Now we're down to 11. We saw some guys escape this way, so you know they're going to be heading in this direction.
Almost done. Stay focused.
And once you get down to less than 10, you get some new spawns. Usually they're elite mercs, and we just heard another juggernaut, so here comes. This is juggernaut number 4. So we only have 8 hostiles left. We want to route the last couple out. I'm checking this window again because I don't think I got them all, and indeed there's another one hiding there. If you stand in front of the window for a second and you don't get shot at, chances are it's clear out there. So now I'm going to try to lure some more people out by putting myself in an exposed location. And we can see a red dot. See this guy over here in the trees. Pick him off. And there's one guy hiding all the way near that barn there, out in the field. Now, once you hit 5 hostiles left, that's when you need to retreat to the cover of the house, because at 5, all of the remaining enemies will rush you no matter where they're located on the map. They just come to your location. First one we get is a Juggernaut. That's not uncommon when you have 5 hostiles left. You can expect to have at least 1 Juggernaut when there's 5 left. Usually you get 2. Usually the last enemy is going to be a Juggernaut spawn. We only have 2 left. So I'm going to expect... That's a ghillie, actually. You have to be careful because 5 hostiles left, the ghillies also rush you, which is kind of strange. That's the last ghillie right there. I can't kill him with this shitty-ass PP, so I'm going to have to whip out my sniper rifle, pick him off, and there we go. This was about 6 minutes. Not my best time, but pretty respectable. This next approach is the barn approach, which is generally more difficult. You'll probably die more often doing this. However, I have gotten my best time doing this particular approach. I clipped the opening part of this, so the first 2 kills are missing, but I just killed some ghillies and probably 1 elite merc over there. So the opening is the same as usual, and I think there's a Juggernaut, so pick him off the same way. And we saw 1 other guy. Don't waste time camping here in the trees. Generally, if you're going for a record time, you can't sit around and wait for these mercs to run around in the trees. Just rush them and hope that you kill them before they kill you. There's usually never more than 5 kills before you can actually get into the estate here to pick up your the W2000 thermal, which is critical in every different approach. You need to get the thermal sniper rifle because it's impossible to see the enemies, especially the ghillies, without it. Now I always check that door frame because sometimes there's a guy hiding in the back door. Usually there isn't, but once in a while there is in this video. There is. Now, we're going to be heading over to the barn this time, and you have to make sure that you're not going to get picked off by some jackass hiding in this on the high ground here on our left. Since we're running on the cliffs beneath, if there's a guy up there, he can sometimes come to the cliff edge and shoot you from the top, which sucks. That rocket launcher guy is almost always there, and he almost always does exactly that. He just runs around that corner and hides there, and you can shoot him through the corner. This is your camp position near these logs. And you want to go around this corner, and you want to pick off guys behind this little shed that you're hiding behind. You have to be really careful here because the most frequent cause of death is going to be elite mercs coming up from behind. That's a ghillie that just shot me. Now, what I really should be doing, which I just did here, is checking my back and making sure there's not an elite merc coming up behind me, especially after I've just gotten shot by a ghillie. That's like instant death. So what you want to do is you want to inch around this corner here slowly, and you want to slowly scan the grass and the trees for enemies. You want to pick them off as quickly as you can. Now that's actually a Juggernaut all the way back there, and I didn't hear the drum, and that's very uncommon. So don't expect that to happen. That in all the attempts that I've done, that's the only time I've ever seen a Juggernaut out there, and I just happened to record it. That's an RPG guy. They're pretty much worthless. They just run around and get shot. 2 ghillies. That's an important kill right there. There's 1 more ghillie, and that's a rocket launcher guy. Now we just heard the drum for the Juggernaut. In this approach, the Juggernaut is usually going to come from the house, and you can hide behind the logs and shoot him like this. There's this little buddy. Very frequently, an elite merc will spawn with a Juggernaut, which will complicate the Juggernaut kill. Sometimes they spawn behind you, which is extremely obnoxious, and is one of the reasons why veteran difficulty is so difficult, especially solo, because you have to take out the Juggernaut while also worrying about your back. So, once the first Juggernaut is down, and I can't see any more guys from inching, then you want to put yourself out in the open and try to rout out people to shoot you. No one shot at me, so I know I'm clear to continue Now, I'm going to try to go around the back door here, and that's actually usually a mistake. To get a record time, you shouldn't bother trying to do that. The best thing to do is what I'm about to do, but I dawdle for about 30 seconds here. I'm looking for mobs that aren't there, and this is what causes this particular video to be over 6 minutes, which is atypical for this approach. I know there's a guy over there, and I'm looking for a way to kill him easily, and I decide, screw it, I'm wasting too much time. So you go back around the front of the estate, check the back door, and then you run up the stairs, and you proceed with the same amount of caution as the first approach where you're doing the estate rush. There's still going to be guys hiding in the estate. Even though you've already killed 26 guys, there's still people camping here. So you just use the same approach, go around the left here. You want to pick off these guys in the room to the left. I'm using a grenade here just to move them. Usually when you throw a grenade, they run towards the back door. This time they didn't. Now I only have 11 hostiles left, and you'll notice I didn't actually kill one of those guys. He's still out there. I'm going up here just to check to make sure that there isn't a guy hiding near the sleeping bags, because if there was, it would be really, really bad. That's a ghillie. You would pick him off. If there were a guy up by the sleeping bags, he would come down the stairs and kill me. And since what I'm about to do is use the same tactic for the field as I did in the first approach, I don't want my back to be exposed. So that's the reason I'm looking around this room right now, because I knew there was an elite merc hiding. He got through the back door and I didn't kill him. And I don't want to get surprised. So there's the 2 elite mercs that slipped by. Checking this door again just to make sure that I don't get surprised. I almost got killed here, which would have sucked. And this, when you're doing veteran difficulty special ops missions, try not to take your deaths seriously. They're going to happen a lot. A lot of this is just luck, how often they actually hit you when they shoot you. Now we just heard a Juggernaut. You want to use the same approach as you did at the end stage of the last mission to kill the Juggernauts. Hide in this little side room and pick them up from the door frame. Your position's a little bit different. You can't get shot through the windows from here. So it's a really good protected position. Now there's only 5 left, and be really careful with grenades here, both flashbangs and regular grenades. A lot of times when you're in this little side room and they're coming through the back door, that's what they do. They just spam grenades at you. There's only 3 left, and they're all going to be rushing this back door here. Now, when you get flashbanged, the first thing you need to do is immediately return to a controlled position and start shooting at the door. Any doorway, any entrance, basically you want to make sure that you have only one danger zone, and you want to be shooting at it, because when they flashbang you, what they're going to do is they're just going to rush you after that and try to shoot you and kill you. So you want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And the last mob is again a Juggernaut, and if you really want to optimize your times, the best way to do so is to get really aggressive with Juggernauts. I generally don't, especially when I'm recording, because I don't want to risk getting killed by a Juggernaut right at the end with only 1 kill left. But if you're going for a record time, that's really what you have to do. This last approach is the field approach, which we're going to assault from the left side of the house. This is by far the most difficult approach, and you know, I do it for a challenge, frankly, but it's really, really tough. So you're going to see the same opener. Did you see how that ghillie ran from the left to the right? That's actually very common at the start, and I managed to shoot him. If you don't see him, just shoot at the corner of the barn and the fence, because you still might be able to pick one off. They're hard to see. Here's our Juggernaut. Generally, you should shoot for the shoulders with the Juggernaut. If you shoot for the head, it's a little bit risky. You need to stun the Juggernauts, and the only way to stun them is to hit them with a high-powered sniper rifle. So you want to make sure you hit them. If you hit them in the groin area, it'll take about 5 shots to kill them. Sometimes you can kill them with as many as 3, but that's only if you get 3 headshots in a row. So we pick this backdoor guy off. We're going to go get our thermal rifle. Now, it's important to check this side of the field before you approach the left side, because this is the reason it's so difficult, because your back is completely exposed right now while you're doing this. So you want to pick off the snipers. They usually hide behind the solar panels. killing the ghillies is critical. So I just shot him there. That ghillie has killed me so many times. So it's really important to shoot him first. It's really tough to see the enemies because they're all hiding behind the pine trees. You don't want to stay in this position too long. The longer you wait here, the more likely you are to get elite mercs coming at you from behind. So it's really important to make a couple of kills quickly and clear out the field area, particularly the ghillies that are out there, and then start moving. One of the mistakes I've made doing this approach multiple times is waiting too long at that position. So I'm taking a risk here and I'm just rushing down this slope. I've also tried going to the left by the fence here, and that's always a mistake. I find that the only way to be successful here is to actually rush the center of the field. Now you'll notice I'm actually getting down on my belly, which is something you very rarely do in this mission because of all the grass you can't see anything. However, it's the only way to get cover from these concrete things that you're hiding behind. If you're crouching, you can still get shot by ghillies. So I'm in a really dangerous position right now because I'm getting shot from a bunch of different angles, and there's a ghillie shooting at me that I've gotten hit by twice that I don't know where he is. Now the reality is he's up here. Now remember, that's the same ghillie I killed in a couple of the other two approaches, the one that's hiding behind the oil cans in the back door of the estate. It's the same one. He's just in this approach, he's more deadly. So now I'm clearing out this area in front of me because I'm entering the danger zone. For this mission because I have 24 kills and a Juggernaut could spawn at any time. I've lost this mission a number of times because a Juggernaut spawns while I'm still locked down in the middle of the field. And if that happens, you're basically screwed because you have nowhere to run. The Juggernaut will spawn in a random spot, come in a random direction, usually behind you. And if a ghillie is still locking you down and you can't move, the Juggernaut's going to kill you. Now, Juggernaut has just spawned and I'm not exactly sure where he is. I see movement there. And I assume that's the Juggernaut. And nope. There he is right here. He's coming on my right side, and this is a really tough kill because I know there's a guy on the left of me too. An elite merc spawned with a Juggernaut. Fortunately, he didn't kill me right there. He could have. You have to just move a lot to get a clear shot through the pine needles, so that's one of the reasons why this approach is difficult. The shots are very long range, and they're obscured by these tree branches. So I know there's a guy up there, but he's far away, and I can't see him, even with the thermal sight, so I have no choice but to move forward. It's a risky maneuver. Now, if there are two approaches you can take here. You can either go left through these stump fields, or you can go back right over towards the solar panels. And I find the solar panels is a much more successful route to take. If you go left, very frequently elite mercs will spawn in the field behind you and kill you. Now I know there's a guy behind me, but I'm not going to try to kill him because I don't have enough time to waste sitting here. Now this is another extremely precarious situation because at 20 kills it's a good time for a Juggernaut to spawn, so I need to get to a controlled location where I can survive a Juggernaut spawn, and right now I'm in a terrible spot. So what I'm going to do, I know there could be guys in the house that are going to shoot me, but I'm going to go hide behind these barrels here for cover in case I get shot at. The house appears to be clear. Don't let that fool you. You know there's mercs in there, but they're not activated yet. However, see this window here, you can see this guy's head over the whiteboard. It's really tough to see, but you can see he just shot an RPG at me. And look, there's another one, and boom, 2 shots, 2 kills. There's still a bunch of guys out in the field on the left, and I'm going to use this fence as my cover. And there's a ghillie right there that I managed to pick off, which is important. Now here's the first Juggernaut spawn at 15 kills. And this is another extremely precarious place to be. This is a really terrible Juggernaut spot, but I don't have really much of a choice. So I'm just going to wait for him to come around the barrels. I'm crouched at this point. I'm prone. I managed to pick him off that way. Don't let the Juggernauts fake you out. Make sure you know which direction they're coming around your cover, or else they're going to come up behind you and kill you. If you don't start shooting them immediately, they're going to mow you down with their M240s. So, I know there's probably some ghillies over here on the left, and that makes me very nervous, so I'm playing real cautiously. That was a very lucky shot, so was that. I just managed to see them through the trees. I'm worried about Juggernauts here, so I'm going back to my cover. And I heard one, so that was an easy Juggernaut kill. Now there's only 10 mobs left. That's a bad number. That means there's more going to be spawning. There's going to be elite mercs coming from all sorts of places. and there's yet another Juggernaut spawn. So that's the fourth one in like 5 or 6 kills. So I used the standard estate camping approach to kill that Juggernaut. I've already cleared the field to the left, so I don't expect to see any enemies here. I'm going to look in the field to the right, and you can see they're starting to come at me. These are the elite mercs that spawned and are rushing the house, like I mentioned. I have 6 kills left, and I can see 2 of them. One's an RPG guy all the way on the right, and that's just an elite merc who I have a very hard time killing. I saw a ghillie flash, pick him off. It's not a good idea to camp the windows because you can get attacked from behind. It's better to camp the door here like this. There's 3 left, 2 left. And this is another way that you can really lose a lot of time on these time trial modes when you're trying to get records. When you only have 2 left, you know they're coming for you, but you just have to wait. See, I could have, if I had ran down there prematurely, I might have gotten flashbanged and killed. So I just have to be patient and wait. And this is really killing my time right now because there's 1 left, and since I can't hear anything, it's undoubtedly a ghillie, and that's just really frustrating. So I have to go find him. It wasn't a Juggernaut because I would have been attacked already and I would have heard the drums. So I know he's somewhere, and he's probably near the back door someplace. And I don't see anything here, so I'm kind of concerned. And the only thing to do is to go out the back door and try to lure him out. And boom, I just got shot. And I look at the map and I see his dot. Of course, I didn't see him, so I guess his camouflage worked. But I know where he is now. Ghillie's not going to move when there's only 1 enemy left. There he is. You can see his flash. And there you go. So generally, this is a really fun mission. It's really tough. You know, good luck and have fun. I'll see you in Modern Warfare 3.